Hey, and welcome to this devlog update. As always, we are working on a smart chore management app, and after building the backend together and setting up the frontend, today it's time for a fresh project update. Over the past few days, I've been working on the web dashboard, connecting the frontend with the backend, but the road hasn't been completely smooth. So today, I'm taking you behind the scenes to show you some of the unexpected challenges that shaped my latest work sessions on the app. Before I show you where things stand now, let's rewind and walk through 3 roadblocks I ran into this week during development. Last time, we set up the dashboard using MUI Toolpad, and recently, a new update dropped. Toolpad is still in beta, and yep, that's going to be important in a minute, but with that update came a pretty exciting feature, the CRUD component. It's basically an all-in-one tool that lets you manage your data super easily. Instead of building your own data tables, creation forms, edit forms, etc., it's all built in. Sounds kinda magical, right? Well, it should have been smooth, but of course, things didn't go exactly as planned. One of the main goals of the app is to manage rooms inside homes, because that's how we'll later assign chores. So I started by fetching all the homes and displaying them in the navigation bar. Then, I added a button on each home that opens a page to manage the rooms inside it. So far, so good. But then comes the tricky part, actually managing the rooms. The idea is to stay on the home object page, but let the user edit the rooms of that home. And that's exactly where Toolpad's logic clashed with mine. See, Toolpad's CRUD component expects to manage the data of the current page, but I wanted it to manage related data from somewhere else. So basically, the component didn't know what it was supposed to update anymore. The routes didn't match the logic, and it all got messy fast. But hey, no worries, right? The docs said you could customize the route paths in the advanced settings. So I clicked around, went looking for it, and nothing. Literally nothing explained. No guide. Zip. So I started digging. I tried adding random props to the CRUD component to force it to use different paths. I looked through the component types. I even opened the actual Toolpad files inside Node modules. Yes, I was that desperate. I kept searching for maybe 1 or 2 hours trying to find a hacky workaround, but I didn't find anything. Then, the next day, fresh brain, I gave it another shot. I reopened the docs, went through every example line by line, and boom, I found it. It wasn't actually explained anywhere, but buried inside a random example, they show how to build it manually using 5 smaller components instead of the all-in-one CRUD thing. So yeah, instead of just using the CRUD component, you're supposed to use a CRUD provider and 4 other individual parts. And once you do that, you can finally control which path goes where, and everything works the way we want it. Now, to be fair, once you understand the logic, it's not that hard to implement, but you've got to find the information first, and man, it was way too hidden. But hey, little dev struggle, and one more thing learned. So, now that this issue is fixed, everything's smooth sailing, right? All the pieces are in place, everything's perfect. Life is good? Well, almost. Back when I was building the backend, I purposely didn't set up everything right away, like data pagination, for example. And, well, now it's become kind of essential. Without it, the app would get super heavy and slow as the data grows. Luckily, this part was way easier to implement than what we just dealt with. Instead of fetching the current home and then loading all the associated rooms, I just needed to write a paginated query, and thank God, Lucid already has a built-in function to handle pagination. So honestly, this didn't take much time at all. A quick look through the docs and boom, done. Only downside, the format of the data returned by the API changed a little, so I had to tweak the frontend to make sure it could handle the new structure. But again, no big deal, just a couple adjustments and we're good to go. There's just one small detail left to make room management truly smooth and enjoyable. Icon selection. I'm not sure if you remember, but each room in the app has an icon attached to it. In the database, we store the icon's name, and when we want to display it, we fetch that name and use Google's icon library to render it. Now, obviously, asking users to pick an icon by its name would feel super unnatural. I mean, Who wants to type kitchen variant 3? What we actually want is to let users select the icon visually based on how it looks. And for that, there's really no magic trick. We need a custom component. Instead of just giving users a drop-down with names, we have to build our own select component one that looks good and plays nice with the rest of the UI. Basically, icons need to display nicely both in the drop-down list and once an icon is selected. Thankfully, Material UI makes that possible if you know how to dig through the docs and make it work. The most annoying part? Getting the label of the select to show up. Don't ask me why, but in MUI, if you want to display a label on a select input, it's not as simple as just setting a label prop. No, you also need to wrap it with an external input label component. And wait for it, on top of that, you need a third component to actually link the label and the select together. Even if you already gave the label an ID and referenced it correctly, that's not enough. And of course, I forgot about that part completely. So yeah, I ended up wasting another hour wondering why the label just would not show up, even though there was clearly space reserved for it in the UI. But hey, free challenges, free wins. Every time I fumbled around, explored and learned. Isn't that kind of what being a software engineer is all about in the end? So now we've got full room management working. We can create new rooms, edit them and delete them if needed. And for the curious ones out there, nope, it's not a hard delete, I'm using soft deletes. Next up, we'll be doing the same for chores and adding a few settings to manage homes more easily, but that's something I'll cover in the next video. If you're enjoying this kind of behind the scenes format, feel free to let me know in the comments. In the meantime, I'm heading back to work on the project, so see you in the next one. Bye bye.